live. Yay!
We're
Hello, everybody.
live. We're here.
Hello, hello.
Yes.
Welcome to another exciting episode of As the River Churns.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That never gets
It won't be
old.
as exciting because Ken's not on with us this time, but
I know. Ken bailed on us.
he did. He bailed. I mean, these chaplains, they do that kind of stuff
I
to
know.
you. I'm telling you.
And I
it
do
just-
need to apologize to Carol Allen. She actually caught me going into the bistro today.
Yeah.
And she said, I sure hope Ken is on there with his jokes because we really need some laughs
They
right
need
now.
levity. They need levity. Yeah.
And he's not going to be on, Carol. I'm
no,
sorry.
Carol, he's not. I mean, he's laying down on the job at the moment. In case you didn't know, Ken is actually here in our studio with us. But he
Maybe you
really
should-
does have another
Maybe you
commitment.
should
and he
wave
can't
to
join
him,
us
Ken.
there.
At least let him know you are here. You're
Yeah,
okay.
come on over in front of the camera and wave. You
Right?
can maybe stand up in front or do something
Ken's
here.
okay. He made it through the winter weather.
Come on over, Ken. So there you go. There's.
There. Okay.
You want to do the weather while you're there?
Oh.
Well, we'll miss you, Ken. But thank you.
We'll see you next week.
Yes, next week.
Okay,
All
next
right.
week.
All
And
right.
he'll have some even better jokes.
Yes. Better than normal.
I don't know. I think what he's had is pretty good so far.
He
so.
has. You're right. They have been good.
All right, so Lisa, we have a half hour to get the show done
so
because we have
trivia.
work going on here in the multipurpose room as we speak.
We do.
We just kicked them out for a half
And
hour.
we are so glad they're doing this work. So we're going to go quick.
so we're gonna
today.
have a quicker show for you today.
Yep. So the trivia question today is from our good friend Dick Witt. Thank you. If you have an answer, you're going to call Michelle at 336-389-4103. And the winner today, of course, we have our favorite wine, Porta Vita Italia, and it's a white wine.
You've gotten good at that, Lisa.
I know. So the question is, why did the filming of the movie Castaway, directed by Robert Zemeckis, stop for a year? It's a good question.
I think it's Zemeckis.
Zemeckis?
Zemeckis.
Why did the filming of the movie Castaway, directed by Robert,
Zemeckis.
stop for a year?
Okay.
Okay.
If you
That's
know.
the question. If you know, call Michelle, 336-389-4103.
All right. So we'll see. We'll see. Nobody's rung the phone yet, but we'll
Not
see
yet.
if somebody comes along here. Okay, so let's get into our normal COVID update. Some things are good, some things aren't so good. Just kind of the starting out. The state really hasn't seemed to have hit a downward trend yet. I'm hoping we're at peak, but everybody's kind of predicting peak at a different level. When you look at the state's website in regards to COVID, certain counties are somewhat stable in that they're not any higher than what they were last week. Some are more. Really isn't anybody less yet. So I don't think quite yet I'm talking about the 14-day average. So I'm hoping maybe that we are at peak right now and that we eventually, hopefully maybe even next week, we'll start to see that trend start coming down. But that's a guess. I don't know that for sure. I wish I could tell you for sure, but I can't. But what encourages me is when I look at the state report, the number of cases today that were reported were 17,374, and that's a lot. But when you look at what we were last week when we reported, we were at 35,000 cases. So that's half of the cases from last week. So I think that's good. I'm hoping that's the trend. That's what I think is hopefully the trend going the right way. The daily positive percentage-wise went up for the state from last week to this week. Last week it was 30% when we looked at it. It's 35% today. But the number of cases is down. And I think part of that's because the testing is down as well, because probably the weather had something to do with that as well. But when you look at the 14-day average per 100,000 residents, Guilford, all the counties still have gone up. I mean, we're still seeing that upward trend. I'm thinking at some point here we've got to hit peak and start coming down. The good news we keep hearing, like New York and Chicago and some of the bigger cities are starting to see the trend going the other way. That we know in South Africa where this started, they're back to normal now, apparently. So, so I think it's coming. It's just a matter of when we get there, right? And for us, it can't be soon enough.
Right.
But, we're still in that, I think we're still in that peak mode right now. And like I said, I'm kind of hoping we're going to come down the other way. But, the sad part is, as of today, we did, as a state, crest over 20,000 of our residents that have died related to COVID. We knew that that was probably coming, but that's still kind of sad, obviously, that's the case. When I look at the 14-day average for Guilford County versus Forsyth County, from a percentage standpoint, Forsyth County went from 33.7 to 35.7 from last week to this week. Guilford was at 29.1 last week, and we're at 29.3 this week. So, again, not a total lot of movement, which almost makes me think that in Guilford County, maybe we're at that high. Maybe we're at that high and getting ready to come down. Unfortunately, though, y'all, the thing that's disturbing, I think, in some ways, is that the hospitalization. We were at 4,275 last week. We're at 4,689 today. So we're still seeing more and more people going into the hospital. And that's concerning, right? I mean, that's still concerning. So, but we know at the end of a peak, we know that the hospitalizations rate will be at its highest. And so, I still think we're right on that, really close to that bubble. We're either just before the peak or just starting down the peak. I think we got to be there. We got to be close to that anyway. So we'll see. It's just a little hard to tell, and we just got to kind of keep monitoring it. And, we already know this, but last week, Guilford County put the mask mandate back in. So, requiring everybody to be wearing masks in common areas right now. And so, please help us by trying to remember to wear your masks. And we'll remind you if we see you in the hall, we'll remind you to wear your mask, so that we can kind of keep that going. But, this week, Lisa, here at River Landing, so far this week, we've had a lot of staff members. I mean, over the last month, we've had over 50 staff members that have tested positive for COVID at this point. Now, when I say that, I want to also say that doesn't mean we have 50 people out. Now that it's been a month, probably at least half, if not more, of those staff members have already been back through protocol and are already back working for us again at this point. So, but we're still seeing, a larger amount. We had 6 more today. Yesterday we didn't have any, but that's partly because I think we weren't really doing a whole lot of testing yesterday. And so today might be a reflection of not having done it yesterday. So, it's the 6th this week. And last week we probably, and I don't remember how many it was last week, but, we probably were pretty close to 15 or 20 last week that we had, with staff. So it's still out there, y'all. We're still seeing folks getting COVID. We're having the scenarios where a husband or wife at home has it and they've been exposed. Children are getting it from school, coming in, exposing families. We're going to just have to live with this for a little while until we get beyond this. But, and the hard part for me to understand a little bit is, the home tests out there are a lot of people have the home tests. And when they test positive from the home test, they're not reporting that to anybody. So, we know the percentage is actually higher. This is only what's been reported. But here at River Landing, the good news is, our staff, we've got enough staff to be able to do what we need to do. As a matter of fact, we reopened the dining rooms today, which is good. And so, our nursing center has been good. So we're doing okay with that.
And we've had no new resident cases this week either.
That's correct.
Which is good to see that.
That is correct. No new residents. And really, for that matter, very few resident cases.
Very few.
Since in the last month here, which has really been great. Now, we did unfortunately have a staff member who had gotten COVID prior to Thanksgiving and was battling COVID for the last month and a half here, maybe almost 2 months. Thought that they were kind of over it, but wasn't, and was recovering at home, but ended up not really being over it. Ended up having to go to the hospital and unfortunately, that staff member didn't make it. It's so that was a sad thing to have happen, that we lost a staff member to that. And, we're reeling from that a little bit. It was a part-time staff member, but still, nonetheless, it was a staff member here. So, so that's really difficult to have to sit there and talk about. We're certainly be praying for their family, and just hate this, that we're going through this right now with, again, that we could potentially have, people that get it bad enough that they pass away. And, the interesting thing about that is I don't think Omicron was really here yet in November. So I'm thinking this actual staff member probably had the Delta. And just could not get past it. And so the Omicron, for whatever reason, just, even though it's more contagious, seems to be that, it wipes you out for a few days, and then, you're able to kind of, body's being able to fight against it, and you're able to come back from that. But we still have another staff member who's out. It's a nursing staff member who's been out for over a month now, and she's still having some difficulty recovering from it. So, and, we know that, right? That we know that the COVID, that we have what they call those long haulers, the ones that continue to have issues with the effects of COVID for a longer period of time. So anyway, I hate this as much as you all do. I hate wearing masks. I hate the fact that we've got that we got staff members and a couple residents getting it. I hate that, this is all kind of happening the way it is. Timing couldn't have been worse as far as the combination of Christmas and New Year's at the same time. The Omicron was really kind of firing up here. But again, I'm hoping that we're going to see this as a wildfire, that we're going to rise through this thing over the next month here. And I really do believe, and maybe I'm just being too hopeful, but I really do believe that we get into February, and I think we're going to be on the downward side of this thing. And hopefully what's happening in the UK, what's happening in South Africa will happen, and even in New York City and other places, New Jersey and Chicago, the downward trends they're starting to see there. I really am hoping that we're gonna be there pretty quickly ourselves. So we'll see.
That would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any PHI updates with how our other communities are doing?
Yeah. So I continue to have my weekly phone call, and all the other communities are struggling with the same stuff. Fortunately, even in the other communities, the number of residents that are getting it is very small. But we probably have the least amount of residents here that have had it as compared to our sister communities. But we have had more staff members get it. So, I guess it's a trade-off there. But they're all struggling with the same thing. They're all seeing the same things. It's bad enough having to deal with COVID and having staff members out, and then have weather events to go on top of it, right?
The combo.
So that's always makes it a little bit extra challenging. But I don't know if misery loves company, but we're all the communities are in this together, and we're you're all having an interesting time trying to deal with all this. And we've said this so many times. I hate to repeat it, but we struggle a little bit again with the idea of wanting to balance resident safety with resident quality of life, and so. At this point, I think we're pretty much done all we're going to do. We're going to try and ride out the rest of Omicron with the way we've got things set up now. Unless something changes, I think we're going to do that. And there's a hope, I think, that, maybe within the next month that we could start reversing some of the things that we did. I mean, that may be wishful thinking, but that's kind of where I'm hoping.
But we need to have a goal out there.
Yeah, I'm hoping by the
Something
middle of
to
next
aim
month
for.
that we could be in a position where we start being able to open back up again a little bit. So we'll keep working towards that. Okay.
We've had several people ask before, can I get a home test somewhere? So this week, actually, what came out, we posted on CareMerge yesterday, there's the free at-home COVID test that you can order. It's a website you go to. It's covidtest.gov. Each household in the United States can actually order up to 4 of those tests to be able to have at home. So that website is live now. We don't know how long it's going to take to receive those tests, but if you're interested in that, they're saying 7 to 12 days, but we know right now if they get all these orders at once, I can't imagine they're going to be out in 7 to 12 days. But if that's something you want to have and just be able to keep at home and have it if you want to test, perhaps. That is something that is available, and we did post that information if anyone is interested in that.
Right.
It's hard to get tests in the stores right now,
Yeah, you can't find them.
so that's the hard part with
Or you
this.
have to
So
be just Johnny on the spot and happen
Yeah.
to get there when the truck comes in and they got
Right,
some,
right.
so many of those tests.
Yep.
So you have to be pretty lucky. But
absolutely.
yeah, I'm very curious to see if they really are going to be able to do the 7 to 12 days.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
maybe.
hard to imagine, but you
Maybe.
never know. Okay, is that good for COVID right now?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't think there's a whole lot else to talk
Okay.
about there. We're just hunkering down, hanging
Yep.
tight until we
Yep.
get past this thing. And so just hang in there a little longer, y'all. I really do think that the good news is I don't think we can go much higher. I really think we're going to start down the other end here very shortly. So
Yep. So inclement weather has not been our friend. That's for sure.
well, it's pretty.
So the good stuff at this point is we have our dining rooms open, our dining venues.
Yep.
So that also means the clubhouse is open today.
Yep.
Yay! One more venue for you. The clinic's back open today. Scooter's team still working on clearing some of the sidewalks and driveways. So I want to take a few minutes to talk about that process. Most everyone has just been, so good with that and understand it. It takes time
Yeah,
to
it
clear
does.
this whole property. It's a big property here.
Yeah.
The trouble we've had with this storm, of course, is we had the sleet. So that there's a thick layer of ice. It's not like clearing snow where you go out there and you just shovel it off quick
Right.
or you brush off the cars, all that good stuff. Snow actually is easy
Yeah.
compared to what we currently have. So it is taking us several days to get through just the layers to get down to the pavement. So just want to talk a little bit about this. This wasn't a typical snowstorm. This truly was more an ice sleet type storm. So for us, it just caused definitely longer times to be able to clear things. In the past, we've gone out and dusted off people's cars, dusted off the windshields, little things like that. We could not do that with this storm because of the thickness of that ice on there. We literally would be chiseling and chopping away at your windshields.
Yeah, we're not
That
doing
is not something that we are going to do as a community.
Yeah, no.
That would not be smart for any of us to be doing that.
That's right.
And to be honest, we really encouraged everybody, if you don't have to be out, unless there truly was some true emergency that you had to go out for, don't go outside. So let us have time to clear those areas. So most everybody was so good with that. So thank you for understanding that. And I know we get cabin fever and it's like, I just got to go. I got to get in my car and go. Really, during times like this and storms like what we had, not your typical snowstorm, we really ask that you stay in and try to be off the roads at this point. And you don't need to be clearing off your car and things like that. If you truly needed something, call us. We have a team here that we can help you with certain things. So if you had to get a certain item at a store that we couldn't get for you here, things like that, we help work with everyone on that. So just wanted to let you know we're here for you, so you don't need to be going out if you don't absolutely have to. We can help you work through those kind of things. But just wanted to share a little bit how this storm was a little different than we've had in the past. I think some folks, Tom, that have lived here for years are like, why wasn't my windshield cleaned off? And I get that. Looking at it, that makes sense because a lot of times that's what we do. But this storm was not that kind of storm where we could just brush off your windshield.
Yeah.
So really, we've needed the time to be able to our priority has to be accessing the building. So it's the sidewalks and the parking lots, working on those areas. So thank you for understanding on that, and just wanted to share what our thinking is behind that. Clearing someone's windshield was definitely not a priority
Well, it
at the
wasn't.
moment. So now that the sun's coming out, those kind of things are actually helping us
Right.
with the areas too. So
And
just
it's
a little
still-
bit different storm.
And there's still ice on some of this stuff. I mean, the
There
ice part,
is.
the ice part wasn't a thin little layer of
It
ice.
was
It was a
not.
thick layer of ice because of the sleet that we had. So,
Absolutely.
and even for our apartment residents, because really what we're talking about for cars is our apartment residents, because everybody else has got their cars hopefully in garages, right?
Yep.
So it's really we're talking about our apartment residents, and we really, for apartment residents, please don't go out and clean off your cars.
Right. Right.
There's no reason to do that, especially when we knew we were going to have some real clearing here in the next couple of days because
Right.
of the weather.
Yep.
Even if you're going to go up to the clubhouse today, you don't need to take your car up there. We've
Right.
got shuttle transportation. You just need to call and ask us, and we'll be glad to take you up there.
Right.
If you really want to get out because you want to go up to the clubhouse, well, let us take you there then.
Right, absolutely.
You know, where we could do it safely. Because, you know, the worst thing to have is have residents out there trying to clear off their cars. And, you know, that was, well,
Yep.
anyway, we just,
Yep.
you know, I think we as the apartment residents need to really prepare for when we have a snow event, or especially in this case, like an ice event, you need to not go out for 3 or 4 days.
Right.
Unless there's an absolute necessity. And if there's an absolute necessity, then talk to us. And we'll
Exactly.
either help you get your car out, or
Yep.
we will take you somewhere or help you with
Absolutely.
something.
Yes.
So,
Yep. Because we did have some individual situations that we assisted somebody with. But that's the
All
best
right,
we could do at this
I
point.
think that's
so.
enough in there. But I just
Yep.
think that, you know, I know that if I was living here at this community, and I felt like I was in the last couple of days because I was here,
Because you were here.
but I get it as a resident. You want your car to be cleaned off. You know, this is just natural to us, right? It
Yeah.
snows. We go out and clean off our cars.
Yep.
You know, but we also need to be smart about this. If you really don't
Right.
have to go anywhere, there's no reason for you to be out there trying to clean
Right.
off your car.
Absolutely.
So
And having a fall, I mean, all of that.
it is
we
not. I
know
can promise
that
you,
it's
if you
not
fall and
worth
break a
the
hip, it
fall.
is not worth
It
it.
is not worth it.
And for what
So-
reason? Just to have your car cleaned off when you know really we can take care of things
Yep.
for you.
Yep.
So
Absolutely. Let's see. We're, of course, monitoring also for winter weather at the end of this week.
yep.
So, and it continues to change. That's why at this point, we're just continuing to monitor it. But make sure you stay tuned to CareMerge 1390. And also, we'll put out phone trees as we need to.
Yeah.
But really, CareMerge and 1390, that's getting your information out to you. So just be watching that over the next couple days as we start to get more news about what's coming.
Yeah, and if we end up having more of a significant snow event than what necessarily they're calling for now, we'll have staff spending the night again. You know,
Yep.
appreciate residents' patience. I mean, we had over 50 people spend the night
We did.
between Saturday night and Sunday night. And
Yes.
even last night and the night before,
Yes.
we had staff members who
Yep.
were afraid they weren't going to be able to get in because it was being an ice. I mean, this really was more of an ice
Right.
storm than it
Whole
was
different.
a snowstorm. You know, we still had staff members that were spending the night even last night just to make sure that
Yep.
they could get here safely or be here for their next scheduled shift. So we have very dedicated staff.
We
I
do.
mean,
We
you
do.
think about over 50 staff members here. That's a lot of staff members that spent a couple nights here.
Yep. Okay. Construction update.
Not much to talk about. Balconies are done.
Yep.
They're working, as we said, they're working in the multi-purpose room here. As a matter of fact, they are putting up the drywall and fixing some of the ceiling stuff, and so it's looking good. Very pleased to see that that's kind of moving on. So we're liking that. You know, they've got the fencing all down. I think we've got a trash dumpster, I think,
We
is still
do.
out there in the
Yep.
back. That's just
That's
because
'cause
they
of
were
this
still ripping
work.
this stuff up here, but you know, that's probably going to be gone by next week. And so, you know, we're really close. And our offices are done. We were, how about this for timing? We were supposed to get furniture on Monday. Well, that didn't happen because of the weather. So,
No.
so we've been pushed back a couple weeks until we can get the office furniture. And so we're going to be where we are for the next couple weeks still. And that's okay. Honestly, I'd rather us do that right and do it safely than try and force something. So
Yep.
we've been in that apartment for quite a while now, and so it's, you know, a little bit longer. It's not going to kill us, that's for sure. So, but you are welcome to go in and take a look at the new area by the living room if you like to. Those doors. And there's still some stuff in the center of the carpet area, so just be careful of that.
Yep.
If y'all want to go in and look around in there, you can. I don't see anything wrong with that. It turned out to be beautiful. I'm really excited for the residents with the new space that we have, Lisa. It's really very pretty and a very functional space now, which is not something
Absolutely.
we had before. And then, you know, on the other side over here, on top of the multi-purpose room, you know, some much needed extra office space. And so that turned out really well. We're very pleased with the way that turned out too. So we're pretty much done with that.
Okay, some other news. The city of High Point has advised for outside homes to have recycling containers on the street Thursday morning. They will either pick up Thursday or Friday, so they can't commit either way. I know at home we've been told our schedule is 2 days off, so maybe, but we know that could change too. But just
Well, let's hope
plan for that.
let's hope it's Thursday, because if they try and come out Friday with what
Let's try.
could happen with the weather, they probably won't get
Never
out
know.
here, be my
So-
guess, but we'll see.
But just plan for that. I have a furl update.
Earl,
The spring 2022 offerings for furl will be published in the February edition of Encompass that is due out later this month. Furl will be offering 12 different courses for the spring, starting between late February and late April. So that's best guess at this point. Looking at starting those. And registration for these courses will begin in the main lobby at noon on Wednesday, February 9th. We're hoping for that. And continue for 1 week until February 16th. So the first course is scheduled to begin on Monday, February 21st. Of course, this is all going to be subject to where we're at
yeah.
as a community.
That's a whole month from now, so I'm really kind of hoping that we're really going to be looking good. by
I'm
then.
hoping so
Yeah.
too. If you register for a course or several, please make sure to note the dates and to show up at the appointed times. At registration, you'll be asked for your name, email, and phone number so they can keep you updated if there has to be change in the courses.
Credit card number, social security number,
No.
name
none-
of your firstborn child.
none of
No, we're not
that.
asking all that
No,
stuff? Okay,
no.
good. I'm glad to hear that.
If a course fills up and if you're on the wait list, you'll be contacted if there will be additional sessions for those on the wait list. So they
Yeah.
always fill up pretty quick.
Yeah, they do.
So I get why there's a
The
wait
furl
list.
classes are very popular,
they
and for good
are.
reason. They're
They
really well
are.
done. So,
Absolutely.
yeah,
So,
it's a great program. I was kidding there
Yep.
a little bit, but it's a great program. It really is.
Yep.
Really, our committee, I guess that's the furl
mhm.
committee. I guess it's the best way to classify that.
Yep.
They do a great job.
they do.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's really well
And
done.
it's led by Jim Clackey, and he has
Yeah.
gotten a great group of people together.
Yeah, it's a
So,
good group.
we do have 2 questions today, which you've already addressed the one. When do you think activities and exercise classes will begin again? And of course, it's all subject to where we're at.
Yeah, it is. I like I said, I sure hope that we're not too many weeks away from being able to start that again. I really think that by this time next month, we've got a really good shot at being able to start reversing some of that stuff. We'll see.
If I want to change what phone number I have in the phone tree, who should I give the number to? So I monitor that list and maintain that list. So just send me an email, give me a call. Let me know if you want to change your number or if you want to add a number.
Yeah.
So that's the phone tree system is a great system.
I think we had a resident that called, said that they had gotten a notification with 3 different
On
phones.
3 phones.
And they thought, you know what, that might be a little much.
It's too much.
I tell you what, let's just take 2 of them off and we'll just do one cell phone, right? It's just-
Absolutely. So
and I get that.
I do
'cause-
too.
Yeah, I
'cause
understand
that probably
that.
would have been too much.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you also want to pick a phone. We want to pick a phone. It's probably a cell phone. Is really almost the one that you carry with you or that you have with you most
Right.
is the one
Right.
you really want to have it be. So
Because even if you're traveling or out and about and we have to get a message out to you, you might
It's-
want to
yeah,
know what it is.
it keeps you more informed
So
than
just to
that,
know
so.
what's going on.
yeah, that's a good point. So
Well, next on the agenda I had Ken.
Ken, you're up. Ken. Yep.
No,
Yep.
No.
Next week.
next week. Okay. Now we are down to the trivia, the winner.
Yay!
And I know we have a winner, so let me check it out.
The
Okay.
The winner has to Brian, when you take the bottle of wine to the winner, they have to tell you what the last name of the director is, and they have to say it right. Okay.
I think it was just me that didn't know. So the question is, why did the filming of the movie Castaway, directed by Robert Zemeckis,
Oh, good. I think you said that right.
stop for a year? And the answer is, this was allow Tom Hanks to lose weight.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize it took that kind of time frame for him on that. I mean,
Yeah, he really had to thin down.
He
to
did.
Do,
and I
that-
mean,
that
he was
last
never
portion.
heavy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for him to,
Yeah.
that would have been a challenge.
Well, I think to make it more realistic, you think about him being on an island for, wasn't it 5 years he was on that island?
It was a
Wasn't it
long
something like
time.
that? He was on
Yep.
that island?
That movie was long. That was a long movie.
You mean as far as just the duration of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a long, it kind of was a slow moving movie. So I liked it, but it just took,
See, that's interesting because to me, it was one of the first movies that really only had one actor in it, and there wasn't a lot of dialogue other than him talking to that volleyball or soccer ball or
Yes.
whatever that was. That Wilson.
Wilson.
So, I mean, when you think about it, think of how long that lasted, where it was just really more visual than anything else.
Yeah.
And I just thought the movie was fascinating. Every time I'm channel surfing, in fact, that one's up, I usually
like to
stop
watch it.
there and watch it because I just think that's a
Oh,
pretty interesting movie. But I hear what you're saying.
yeah, it was long, but it was good. The winner today is Helen Kalaki.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so that's great. Congratulations. And Brian will make sure to bring you the wine today so you can enjoy that. So thank you for watching us.
You know, I'd be curious to know, and I know we don't have this, I'm curious how much Tom Hanks' weight he lost
I don't
to
know.
go from one to the other.
Right.
I mean, from the looks of it, you can tell it looks like
Mhm.
he's lost probably 20, 25 pounds easily, I
I
would
think
think,
so.
from one to the
Easily.
next.
Yep.
So, but anyway, yeah, that's interesting. Well, Lisa, we're going to be
Okay.
on again next week.
Yes.
And I think we're going to be on the week after that. And then, yeah, we'll see. We might switch for February. We might switch to every other week, just depending on how things are going. But, you know, we just want to stay up with you all and kind of keep things rocking and rolling here. You know, right now it's winter. We're trying to get through weather events. We're trying to get through the rest of this Omicron. And I think better times are definitely ahead of us here.
Yeah, for sure.
So.
Oh,
He lost 50 pounds. Thank you, Brian.
wow.
Brian just looked it up. He lost 50 pounds. Well, that's probably why it took him a year.
Wow.
Yeah, because you imagine how
Okay.
much that's a lot of weight.
That is.
Yeah. So that's being devoted to
Okay.
a movie. That's for sure, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
That's incredible.
Hmm.
So, okay. Well, Lisa, we said we were going to try and keep this to about a half hour. We didn't quite make that, but almost.
We were close.
We were close. Not too bad. You know, I heard I haven't been outside for a little while, but I heard it was going to get to 53 today. So,
I mean, the sun looks beautiful.
oh, and you know, we were talking about how when it was glistening on top of the thing, you didn't want to walk on it because it was
no, but
ice.
it looked beautiful.
It was very pretty when you looked at
Yes.
some of the from the
Yep,
different
there
angles
was the
about how the
shine.
sun shines off of it. But
Mhm.
you know, I'm looking out now because we can see out the back of the multipurpose room at the moment, and I'm starting to see some of the grass exposing itself again. So we're getting a lot of meltage today.
Yep,
I
that's
think.
good. That's
So-
good.
So, okay, well, I hope you all have a great Wednesday. We'll see you next week. If you got any questions or suggestions or whatever, you know how to find us.
Yep.
Just let us know. And we just appreciate and love you all very much and just hope you have a great week. We love you.